What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Terror Table, a horror movie podcast that is presented by the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. I'm one of your regular hosts here every single week. My name is Mitch, and Kyle is out for this week, but joining me today, I have the love of my life, Buzi.
Yes, I'm here. And no Kyle. This is the perfect day.
Yes, and also joining us, we have Miss Courtney Sperling.
It was the perfect day.
It's me.
Thanks, though.
I haven't heard anyone reference Adele in a while.
I know.
Keeping it alive.
What's Adele doing these days?
Eating.
Killing it. Mitchell, she lost a bunch of weight. Don't be an ass.
I'm a fat guy. I can be an ass.
She's also the most talented person on the planet.
She is.
Don't at her.
Either way, we are joined today at this holy table of terror.
Yes.
In which we are going to this is going to be an episode. We have never done an episode actually, Courtney and I did an episode like this during quarantine.
Once. Yeah.
But we don't have a main feature this week.
Nope.
Instead, we're catching up on all of the things that we watched pretty much throughout October and
It's been a while.
November.
Stain said it best.
Yes, true.
Courtney doesn't want to laugh at that. No? Okay.
But no, yeah, today we're going to be offering up some reviews of all the films that we've seen recently. This is just
It's been a while.
This is just going to be an open conversation, and it's already off to a great start.
Sorry.
All right, so Buzi, how have you been?
Great.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
It's been a long stained while.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Courtney laughed.
Stained. Stop.
How are you doing, Courtney?
Really good, thanks.
It's been a while since I've seen you guys.
I
You guys
know.
have been festivaling.
Yeah.
And by the time people hear this, all have known. But at the time right now, I don't know how it went.
Oh.
Yeah, Buzi hasn't listened to the episode, which came out today while we're
Because it
recording.
literally just came out today, and we're recording
okay.
today.
But
Okay.
last week we had Scott Hamilton, the film programmer at the Broadway Theater, on to talk with me about every film that we saw at the festival. I hope you guys listened to that episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. Just a reminder, that conversation is entirely spoiler-free, so if you weren't there, you don't need to worry about anything being spoiled. It's more so just us offering up our thoughts, spoiler-free, that will determine if you're going to check these films out, which I suggest you will. You can talk about some today.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you and Scott are the best people, I think, to have talked about those movies, because you guys are both so passionate, and Scott's just a wonderful guy to talk to.
Scott is the absolute greatest.
He's so smart, so nice.
Yeah, I could listen to him for hours, and I have done it before.
Yeah.
We tend to chat, and we will not stop chatting.
So that'll be a good episode.
Yeah. Cool. Well, actually, do you want to lead off with that? Do you want to name off some of your favorites from the film festival, and you can talk about them? Do spoiler free.
Sure. So I missed, I think, 2 nights.
Yeah.
But I went for lots of them.
Just say the ones that stick out to you the most. So let's start with Psycho Goreman.
Psycho Goreman is so much fun. Mitchell and I watched it a couple, months ago?
Yeah, it was for the programming
and
process.
we thought it was just absolutely hilarious. And then we found out that nobody else thought it was funny.
Oh my
and
God,
so we were
Courtney.
like, what?
That's insider baseball stuff for the film fest. That's only for the film fest folks to know.
Oh.
It ended up playing, so whatever.
Yeah.
But we definitely liked it the most out of everybody.
No, and it's so much fun. That's going to be a Shudder one, right?
I have no idea if that's Shudder. The only one I know is for sure Shudder is Lucky.
Oh, okay.
Which you didn't see.
No, I didn't see, but I really want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, Psycho Goreman was awesome. The one that we didn't get to watch that was really exciting was Jumbo.
Love Jumbo.
So that's a French film.
Yeah. It's not a horror movie, but Buzi, you got to hear about this thing. Okay. Yeah, you take it away, Courtney. You explain
Yeah,
it.
It's like Dumbo, but larger?
No.
So it's this,
Oh, no.
It's this girl, and she ends up falling in love.
With a carnival ride.
Yeah, with like...
It's the what the exhibition, the spin out?
Yeah.
Spin out. That's what it is, except for it doesn't go upside down.
I mean, possibly one of the sexiest rides.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
I get it.
that or a tilt-a-whirl.
And it it's,
Gets
it's...
a major finger banging action on a tilt-a-whirl.
Oh my God.
Or no, that's in Fear where they do the Ferris
It's on the
wheel.
Ferris wheel, Mitchell.
All right, sorry, continue.
We reenacted that scene, no big deal.
Wow. Insider baseball again.
Insider baseball.
Was that me?
Yes, Mitchell. That was the first year we were dating.
Are you kidding?
Or maybe the second.
Okay, move on.
Anyways.
Romance is beautiful.
I know, it's so nice. No, yeah, so Jumbo ended up being almost emotional.
Oh my God, it was so emotional.
And it just actually touched me.
It's a beautiful movie. It's a gorgeous
is.
first feature.
So we're talking about a lady falling in love with a ride.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's so much more than than
Yeah.
that sounds. It's treated with such a straight face.
Right.
Oh man, I loved it.
It's serious and it's
very serious.
It's gorgeous.
It's
too.
heartbreaking.
Does it make you fall in love with the carnival again?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
they're just
No.
well, mainly the ride.
I never stopped loving the carnival
Yeah.
or the exhibition as
I'm
we
just
call
gonna
it.
say it,
carnivals are dead.
I would fuck Jumbo. I'm just saying.
I would take it for a ride, take it for a spin,
Oh.
as they say.
No, but I don't mean to. It's kind of we're taking the piss out of it, and it is a very, very great film.
And then there's the two movies. Sorry, who was the director of those two films? Bloodthirsty.
Amelia Moses.
Yes, Amelia. Oh God,
She's a Canadian filmmaker, and she's going to be one of the big names that we're going to be talking about in the next couple of years.
she's
I'm
incredible.
positive.
Both of those movies I loved the first time we watched them.
Bleed with Me
Bleed with Me
and Bloodthirsty.
And Bloodthirsty, yeah. So Bleed with Me takes place at a cabin with two friends and one of their friends' boyfriends. And they're just kind of chatting, getting drunk, blah, blah, blah. And it's, I would say, a drama.
It's a horror movie.
It's a horror drama. And then Bloodthirsty is a...
Okay, but Bleed with Me, there's a hook. You just so that's three friends hanging out.
Three
but
friends, and it's a drama.
One of them is concerned that her friend may be stealing her blood in her sleep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I didn't know if
okay.
that was a spoiler, so I didn't want to say anything.
No,
Okay, and then Bloodthirsty is
a werewolf movie. We can say it because it's in the press everywhere.
Yeah, so it's a werewolf movie, and it is like a pop star and her girlfriend go and stay at this like remote cabin.
Yeah.
And she is trying to record a new album, and the guy who's recording,
I can't remember his name. I can't remember.
he has a bad reputation because one of his previous, can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his previous like proteges or whatever died suspiciously, sort of.
Okay.
And so the girlfriend is like freaked out about them being there, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they're both incredible. Love them. Can't wait to see more from her.
The score, like the music in that movie was my
Haunting.
favorite part.
It's like a haunting.
Adele. It's kind of like, does she, what? I don't listen to that music, so I need to know.
Shout out Adele again.
Love you, girl. I'll get back to you. I'll have to think of who she is.
Yeah, it's kind of like not like older, more mature Lord, maybe.
Yep, no, that's
Lord,
fair.
Lordy,
That's good.
Lord. Okay, sorry. It's from South Park.
Oh, that's why I didn't get it. Okay, and then
I am Lord.
Oh yeah, I do remember. I am Lord.
Then one of my favorites was My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To.
Honestly, Buzi.
Which does sound like a great
Fall Out
country
Boy
name.
song.
Oh, I was gonna say country song title.
Oh,
Sounds like a country song.
to me, it sounded like from under the cork tree.
Okay,
Fall
no,
Out Boy,
I can see that too.
No, but just like heart-wrenching, beautiful, dramatic, little bit horror.
It's straight up horror,
Straight
but it's
up
so dark.
Just about family and blood is thicker than water and all
every
that stuff.
every single day that goes, I've seen the film twice now, and every day that goes by, I like it more. And even today, like Jay, one of our on the programming committee, Jay Luke, he was messaging me and just being like, I can't stop thinking about My Heart Can't Beat.
It
'cause
sticks with you.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Everyone keep an eye out for that one, because I promise it's one of the very best horror movies of the year.
And the second it's out, we're watching it again.
And also, we're going to have the director-writer on the show.
Oh,
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That is
Yeah,
exciting.
and he seems like an incredibly nice guy, and it's his first feature. I adored
Really?
it. I loved it. I cannot believe that's a first feature.
No.
And it's also starring Patrick Fugit, who I love. He played the young kid writer in Almost Famous.
Yes.
And
I
which is
haven't seen him in much things.
he's in Outcast. You haven't seen this yet either,
No.
but it's Robert Kirkman, the comic book writer who wrote Walking Dead. They did a TV series of Outcast, which is about he's an exorcist. And the Patrick Fugit plays.
I've heard of that.
It's very good, but I think it got canceled because I didn't hear anything about it. I watched the first season, but I really enjoyed it.
And then what was on Friday?
Friday was My Heart Can't Beat and Jumbo. Saturday is now we're on.
Okay.
So you can talk about Black Bear Violation.
Oh, okay. So Black Bear is the new, what's her name?
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, which to be honest, I haven't seen many things with her. I don't, like, I know she's kind of like, you love her or you don't.
But she's like really popular right now.
I know,
Yeah.
and she's popular, and I was kind of like, do I care? But no,
We loved Mike and Dave wedding
that's
dates.
the only movie I've seen with her, though.
Yeah, and then you've
Or
seen
wait.
a bunch of Parks and Rec.
Is she the mom in the new?
Yeah, Child's Play.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no, I guess I like her now.
Oh my God.
What a turn. What a
She
turn
made,
of
she made
events
a
here.
lifelong fan out of me.
Yeah, so that movie I don't want to say anything
No.
really about. But watch it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites at the festival.
It's incredible, and I had started it with Mitch before the festival, and I had fallen asleep.
Yep.
So I missed basically everything that happens, and I've had to listen to him like.
How excited was I about this movie?
Oh, so excited. But I've had to listen to him rave and rant about this movie for like months.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't rewatch it with me.
And he's like, guess you'll just have to watch it at the festival.
And honestly, though, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I'm going to say that. And then.
I love your Mitch impression.
Thank you. And then Violation.
Holy shit.
What is there to say about Violation? So we actually had a video.
We did a Q&A. I hosted the Q&A
Yeah.
with writer-director who also starred in the film, Madeline Sims-Fewer.
Oh my
She's she's the lead in the film, but it's written and directed by Madeline Sims-Fewer and Dusty Manzielli.
Yes, her partner.
Yeah, film partner.
Film partner. I don't know it. Yeah. I don't even know what to say because I feel like I'm on the verge of tears with that movie.
It's a rape revenge film.
It's a rape revenge film in a way that you've never seen it. And I don't like rape revenge movies, obviously, because it's just a touchy subject, I think, for a lot of people. And it was not what I was expecting at all.
No.
And when the movie ended, I kind of was like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then we went outside, we had a couple minutes, and the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. And then once we had the Q&A and like the chat with them, I was like, oh, I love this movie.
I think it's because it's an extremely punishing movie to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a fun movie to watch, but I do think you're going to be a big fan of that one.
Right.
Because it deals with some really interesting ways of how to dispose a body.
And yeah, just
My
like
favorite parts
Yeah.
of movies.
hearing that both of there was the two directors, that they've both dealt with trauma in their life.
They're both survivors of sexual assault.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell in the movie because it's like, oh, this is actually real.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit
such a
hard to
realistic
watch.
movie.
And especially like the talk after, I got pretty emotional.
I know, and that's what sucks is, so I did a Q&A, and one of the cast members hangs dong for a good portion of the movie. Like, I'm talking hard.
It is like if
It's a nice
it would
dick.
boing.
It's yeah, it would. It would shoot like a slingshot if you.
Okay.
Yeah, like or like a door stopper. You know how.
But it's also a
That's
really.
what it would do if you flicked it.
It's a really nice dick.
Okay.
Like I wanted to ask him, be like, was that really you? Nice.
Nice.
You know what? He was packing.
Yeah.
I'll say
Okay.
that.
I don't. He didn't have that much like size, but it was just a nice one, you know.
Yeah, girthy.
Kind of.
I don't actually
It seemed
know.
like it seemed like a normal.
It was a good dick. Good movie.
Shout out a good dick.
Shout out good dick.
Woo! Was there anything else that I am
No,
missing?
you were not there for Paper Tigers.
Yeah, so I left because I was,
You would have loved Paper Tigers because it's kind of like Wild Hogs, but with kung fu.
and then I missed the Dinner in America that day.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to watching that.
Dinner in America, man, is so good. So good.
But all in all, this year's fest, considering all things, went really well. I also Scott gave me a tour.
Oh.
So I got to go like through this like tunnel basically.
The tunnel to the green room.
I still haven't got to go
and
to the
it
tunnel.
gets smaller as you go.
Yeah.
No, it was really cool. Good times. I had a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, it was an awesome year. But that will be the last you hear of us talk about that for a little bit, at least until next episode. Yeah. Buzi, you want to lead us off? It's been a while.
Sure.
Let's hear what you've been up to, boy.
I have watched so many things. I think just because we're kind of refreshing on it, we all watched The Dark and the Wicked.
Okay, so we're gonna lead off with a
Wow.
fucking let's lead off with that, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
we did just watch the trailer to kind of like
Refresh ourselves because it was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we all saw it like right when it came out.
We should
would never need a refresher with that one. That one's etched in my mind forever.
I want to also mention, I'm not sure if she's listening, but Cassie, who was on our episode on Hereditary, which we got a ton of really nice positive feedback about, we were planning on talking about, like Buzi and I were planning on talking about the films that we had seen that week.
Yeah.
But she was just so good that we text each other, we're like, don't talk. Just let her keep going.
Absolutely.
And I think that was the right move. So that's why we're playing catch up on this episode. So Dark and the Wicked, we're starting off with a heavy hitter.
Hell yeah.
Latest film from Brian Bertino, director of The Strangers and The Monster.
Oh, fuck. That's why it's crazy, right? The Strangers. Okay.
Buzi, can you offer up a synopsis for The Dark and the Wicked?
I think Courtney needs it. Like, this
Okay.
is such a okay.
Okay. So this.
Speaking to the mic, please.
Sorry.
We're pros here.
This husband and wife have a farm, and the dad is ailing and not doing well, and so the mother is trying to like keep up with all the farm activities. So the son and the daughter come out to kind of like help and maybe say goodbye to their dad because they don't know what's going on, and the mom is very like, I told you shouldn't have come. Blah, 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 blah. And there's
Some dark things are afoot.
yeah, dark things are afoot. I was terrified by this movie.
I haven't seen you this scared since Annabelle Creation.
Yeah, and that was in the theater, so
Yeah.
give me some space with that one. No, I was fucking terrified watching this, and
It is scary.
there's some like it's at a farm, so there's some animal stuff that looked so real that I was crying. Mm-hmm. I'm about to cry right now.
You were losing your mind.
I literally was like, "That's fucking real." Like, what did they do? But no, am I allowed to say it's my number one horror movie of the year?
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah. No. If
100%.
it is,
I 100%. That's my number one of 2020.
that's fair.
I can't see anything that I would watch in the next month that could ever be better
It's
than
Christmas
that.
season. That's when you know all the big horror movies are coming
Yeah,
out.
exactly. So no, what a pleasure to watch that movie. But have a blanket close by so you can cover your eyes if you need to.
Yeah. If you a bitch boy.
Whoa.
I'm talking about boys, not. I would
Okay.
never call a
Yeah.
woman that word.
Yeah.
Boozy.
I
what'd
think
you
I think
of
it's
it?
like now we can just say that like Brian Bertino's really cemented himself as a fantastic,
100%, yeah.
not just a fantastic director, but also a fantastic writer.
Oh my
and all his stories are so much different from each other. And this one deals with like so many different levels of family trauma.
Yes.
And also dealing with like sickness and grief. And it did it in like a very visceral way. Like this isn't a movie where you're gonna go away from it feeling fulfilled. And I don't think that's what. I don't think that's
you
what he
should
likes to
leave
do.
empty. You
Exactly.
should- he obviously, that's the thing too.
It's
is
like a
that
trilogy of sadness.
He
Bertino
likes to just leave you fucking heartbroken.
is too bleak and masochistic for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not me. Torture me.
Yeah, oh
Give
God.
it to me, baby. Like, fuck, does he deliver on that shit? But yeah, it's a very adult, haunting movie, and just dread drips from every frame
Yeah.
of this thing.
That's the only way you can describe it. It's just dread.
And I would say, like, this is one to keep an eye out for, especially for fans of, like, Hereditary and The Black Coat's Daughter and films like that. I'm not...
Oh, good call.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's, well, everyone can make up their own minds, whatever. It's just, it's kind of similar. But, you know, whenever you refer something to, or when you compare something to Hereditary,
Right.
people confuse that as you saying that it's as good as Hereditary.
Right.
And that's not what I'm saying.
No,
but
and
also,
I think
this is a
it's-
really good movie.
Yeah, I think it's its own thing, though.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm meaning to say.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it again now that I know what's happening and I won't be so scared. So maybe I'll catch a few more things.
It
I wanna-
actually genuinely is scary, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very scary movie, and I actually wanted to ask. I wrote this down in my notes to bring up to you when we eventually talked about this.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like, I could have sworn that I heard the keys from Halloween multiple times in that movie. Like, I think that he was actually like paying homage to it because
It sounded like it.
there's like from the original John
I would have
Carpenter
to go
Halloween.
back to listen to that. Like,
do.
just the very first.
Like
key?
when
No,
they're,
no,
when they're like
it's
in
just-
the barn and stuff.
Yeah, and it's just throughout. It'll be like ominous music,
Yeah.
and then you kind of hear keys that are very similar notes to Halloween, but it's not like the original Halloween score. It's
Right.
the stingers and stuff like
Okay.
that. And oh man,
I
yeah.
noticed that too.
So good, so good.
Yeah. Love it.
All right, so Dark and the Wicked, you love that one, Boozy,
Oh, dude. This is like one of the best movies of the year. 100%.
by far.
I would say it's one of the best horror movies I've seen, to be honest.
Wow. I think you need to watch it again to be sure.
I think Courtney, you're a little hyperbolic. Is that the word?
I would not say.
What's your favorite movie of all time? Because you have about 30 of them.
What is it today?
Every day, it's like, oh yeah, of course I've seen it. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Okay, let's
Legally
calm
Blonde
down.
2, Red, White, and Blonde, my favorite movie of all time.
No, gosh, obviously the first one. I literally made a post on Instagram today about Legally Blonde.
I saw that and I caught
with
it.
Baby Yoda.
I love the child.
Yeah.
I love
the child. Sorry. I
love-
watched like the first 3 episodes of Mandalorian. I have to catch up.
I need to also, that's a good place, because I'm not going to offer up a full review here, but if you are for some reason sleeping on season 2 of The Mandalorian, it's so good.
Yeah, everyone I've seen
haven't
talking
watched it
about it.
Dude, every episode is like a Monster of the Week episode. Like
But
there's huge monsters.
I'm kind of bummed out. They took out Guy with Jeans, which was like my favorite
Guy
thing.
with jeans.
You guys don't even know what I'm talking about.
No.
There's a still in The Mandalorian where a dude was in the background, and it's literally half of him, but you can't see like his head, and it's just like a pair of blue jeans. So it became Guy with Jeans, and
Yes.
like people were like making Star Wars action figures, and it's just this half of them and
man.
stuff.
I love the internet so much.
I know.
But they
There's
edited
sometimes-
them out in there now, so they had to re-put the episode up without him now.
Oh,
That's like in Game of Thrones when one of them had a Starbucks cup.
Yeah, no, people were comparing it, and they're like, "Guy with Jeans is better."
See, I didn't even know about Guy with Jeans, but all I'm saying, the new season of Mandalorian is like, they've managed to up their game
Yeah.
from the first season. I love the first season, but season 2 every week has just been an event.
Since we're on the topic of TV shows, can I just talk about the 2 TV shows
Yeah,
that I've recently
yeah,
watched?
absolutely.
Just to get them out of the way.
Because these are ones I didn't watch with you.
Oh, she's gonna die. She's gonna
Yeah,
die.
she needs to-
Also, I have a TV show I watched a little bit of.
You go first.
I watched more of Black Mirror. I just
Okay.
watched random episode. I watched the video game episode
Oh
with the
my
two
god,
friends.
with Kurt Russell's son?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Wyatt Russell. It's a VR,
No.
the VR episode? Oh my god.
It's the one where they're kung fu fighting.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I've only seen like what
I
5
did.
episodes.
Well, I didn't. If it's on the newest season, I didn't watch it because
I didn't watch any of that.
everyone-
We started Bandersnatch.
everybody knows Bandersnatch and On.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the other one? I watched Black Museum, I think.
That's a great one.
That
one was
one's
cool.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, That's
that was
a really
really
good one.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Dude, the one though, like, because
I like the dating one.
I love all the dating ones. Like, there's some really good dating ones in it. But no, Buzi, the one that you like, that I think I remember
The
me
Miley
and
Cyrus
Diego.
one, right?
No, Diego. No, not Bandersnatch. I didn't even finish that movie. But no, what's it called? The one Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, plays it. He does a VR video game
And it's
episode.
like a haunted house type thing, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
very cool.
That's my favorite
Check it
episode.
out.
of the
No,
show.
it was cool. I just I don't know if I can sit down and watch like full seasons of the show. I
I
get
watched,
why
like,
I get
an
why people
episode.
do, but they're like their own little movies.
And it's hard to binge that one because it's pretty heavy.
Well, I watched another one where some girl kept going through different decades and in like a VR thing, and it was really cool
Oh, that sounds
too.
cool.
But yeah, it was like it's a full movie, and like once you're done watching it, it's like you go through so many emotions.
Well, I'm happy to hear you're coming around to it because
Yeah.
you weren't really into it before. But
Yeah.
you'll see that it has it's not an incredibly consistent show, but when they're good, they are awesome.
I kind of like to think of it like it's a rotting carcass, and I'm a crow, and every once in a while I just come and like take a bite out of it, but like in a good way. Do you know what I mean?
This is why I love this man.
I
And
get
in like
it.
a good way. I'm just like picking the carcass, but I don't need that much right now. I'll come back.
I don't really want any ass right now.
Yeah,
See you in a couple
exactly.
days. Speaking
Just smack her ass and leave.
Speaking of Black Mirror, it just reminded me, of one more movie from the Film Fest that I know other people didn't love as much as I did, but it's called Lapsis.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a sci-fi?
Yeah, it's totally. So like when Scott and I talked about it, I said that it's basically just like one of the better episodes of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But a feature film.
I don't know how to describe it, so I'm not going to, because it's not going to make any sense if I say it. But I loved it.
Did you fuck with the Tony Soprano looking guy who's the star?
Loved him. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I was rooting for him the whole time.
Well, that's what made it made the movie better.
Yeah.
Knowing that we're following a guy who's kind of a dummy.
Yeah.
And it's in like a very like complex sci-fi movie.
Exact. No, it was cool.
I need to watch that one again because every year festival season, like we watch 16
You
movies
take so much
in a
in,
row.
it's hard to.
That like there's no way you're possibly going to be able to give each movie its due.
Yeah.
Right.
And
and I think that's
Lapsis is
why-
a very quiet one. It opened our Saturday.
Yes. So yeah, are you done with Black Mirror? Okay. So the first TV show I watched is just one season on Netflix. It's a Netflix original, I think. It's called Another Life. So it's a sci-fi. I'm really into sci-fi right now. So basically, the planet Earth is there. and there's an alien artifact that was put on the planet, and they're trying to communicate with the aliens, but they're not biting. So then they're like, okay, we're going to send this troop to the alien planet to try and figure out what the heck they want. And I was like, oh, like I was having such a good time. It's super dramatic. There's like romance and fighting and like space stuff, like tick, tick, tick for me. So I was like, oh, I wonder like what everybody else thinks. So I went on IMDb. And like one of the first comments on IMDb straight up was like, reading these comments is more entertaining than watching the actual
That's when you know you have a quality
TV show. So I'm not going to go out and say go watch it.
What's it called again?
Another Life. And it's got that one girl who's in every sci-fi ever.
So what Courtney's saying is go on the IMDb and just read
the comments because they're hilarious. But I was like, oh, am I?
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Battlestar Galactica, Riddick, Oculus. She's the mom in Oculus.
One comment was like...
And she's in The Mandalorian now, actually.
She carries this movie like she carries every other thing she does because all she does is sci-fi.
She's really good.
She's
usually.
wonderful. But yeah, no, I really liked it. And I just... a second season will be coming and I'm going to watch it.
The actor... There's an actor in the movie, or the show, plays August.
Yeah.
Her real name is Blue Hunt.
And she is fucking gorgeous.
I think she should name her last name to Ray. Blu-ray.
What about Valentine? No, there's lots
I don't want to laugh at
there's
it.
lots of, I know, I won't. But there's lots of like cool characters. There's also like the doctor on board is a trans character, which I haven't really seen in a lot of things, and I loved it. And she starts like a relationship with somebody else on board that UC developed that I really liked. And then the other one I am Beyonce obsessed with.
She's Beyonce. I don't know the reference either.
The movie Obsessed with Beyonce. Hello.
Is she in that movie?
Yes.
I thought
Idris Elba's her husband.
That's Beyonce. Oh yeah, and then she has to fuck with
Ali
Ali Larter.
Yes, yeah. Ali Larter. Love it. Classic.
Beyonce or Ali Larter, Buzi?
I have no idea.
I would pick Ali Larter to be honest.
I have no idea who
Ali
Ali Larter is.
Yeah, she's from Final Destination 1 and 2. She's the blonde chick.
She's got sharp features. She's in the...
I think I'd go Beyonce.
The movie Haunted House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, the 90s one.
Yeah, the 90s one.
She was a very 90s actor.
I love her, but...
Okay.
I'm going Beyonce.
Obsessed, yeah. You're going Beyonce too?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, me and you both.
That's fine. So yeah, no, the one that I just started the other day, and I'm on episode 13 or 14 of, and I guess there's 2 seasons, it's called Salvation. I don't know if I would call it a sci-fi so much, but basically, you find out that an asteroid, extinction level asteroid, is headed towards Earth in 137 days or something like that. So it's basically like the government trying to cover it up so there's not worldwide panic. The government working with this like huge electronic corporation type thing, and they're trying to get it off course. Basically, and then there's just a bunch of people who are trying to cover things up. Like, it's very dramatic. It's very government. Like, the Pentagon is in there a lot. It's
Pentagon, government.
Government, yeah.
Sci-fi, computers.
Yeah, and there's lots of, like, there's lots of drama and there's lots of relationship stuff as well. And now it's just, like, it's at the point where I'm like, oh, this has maybe gone to the point where I'm like,
you've been glued on that show.
I can't stop.
On a scale of 1 to Armageddon, where are we at?
Whoa, Armageddon.
Well, no, I'm saying on it, like how, because it sounds like Armageddon.
Oh, I see. Way better.
Salvation's
it's
better?
way better than Armageddon.
Way better than Armageddon.
So you really don't want to miss a thing. Okay.
Oh my god.
Courtney loves music references. They're her favorite.
They are my favorite.
She just loves me.
It's true.
I was listening to a podcast the other day that Mitch definitely wouldn't like, and I had to pause it because they made a Swim Fan reference. I was like, babe.
Pretty sure Buzi doesn't even know what Swim Fan is, and we've talked about like 30 times on the show.
All right. Anyways, Salvation's really
Doesn't
fun.
have Denise Richards in it?
No.
All of the main characters are very, very talented actors. The main girl kind of has like a Julianne Moore type thing happening, so she's like smoking hot, redhead,
Okay.
boss ass bitch.
I don't know if he's going to listen to this episode, but shout out Rick Hill, who once said that his number one person that if he could fight one person on Earth, it would be Julianne Moore.
Are you kidding me?
Why? What did she do?
He just hates her face.
Oh
I
my
guess.
gosh,
But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a very Rick Hill thing.
Rick, I love you so much.
That's a callback from like 6-7 years ago. Every time I see her,
That's
I
so
think about Rick
random.
punching her.
What was that? What? Anyways.
Yeah. So are you done on Salvation?
Yes.
Recommend?
Recommend 100.
Yeah. Okay. Boozy. What else? What
Better
else you
than
got?
Armageddon.
Yeah.
If anyone has seen Salvation and likes it, message me.
What's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle.
cmoney_666.
Yeah, I think that's it. Actually.
See, I can't remember things. I can't remember very important information that I need to know for work, but I can remember the dumbest things.
cmoney_666, I think, but my name on there is Catastrophe, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
Boozy, what up?
I watched some wild shit, guys. 'Cause I was back on Tubi again.
Back on that Tubi bullshit.
Tubi has some good shit.
Especially right now, I went through their whole list. Like, if you are having trouble affording Christmas presents and you want to watch movies, just watch them on Tubi. 'Cause then fucking Black Christmas is on there.
I know.
Texas Chainsaw's on there, for God's sake.
There's some amazing movies on Tubi.
I can't wait to watch Black
Right?
Christmas this year.
Okay, so one of the movies I watched, you're gonna have to like look it up because the picture for it is hilarious. But it's called Mom from. There's like three. It's either between 1989 or 1991. It's listed as maybe being any of those years made, and I'm pretty sure it's a Russian movie.
I can't find it anywhere on IMDb.
Go
It's
Mom.
called Mom?
1991. Try
Well,
that.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead came out in 1991.
I don't think that's the one.
So it's about this vampire dude
Found it.
who bites this grandma because she's living with him. He's renting a room from her and bites her, and she turns into a werewolf. She turns into a werewolf and then has to eat people, but also she's a nice old grandma, so then this son has to try and rescue her but stop her from, and then there's like a werewolf hunter. It's some wild shit, and it was really good.
The poster is straight up Golden Girls.
No, but with
But
sunglasses.
with shades.
It's so cool. And
I'm not like a regular grandma. I'm a cool grandma.
from the producer of Men at Work. And my favorite part is the tagline. Call her mad, call her a monster. Just make sure you call her once a week. That's an amazing tagline.
I definitely actually recommend this movie because
We have
it
to
has
watch
some
it.
really cool practical. They really
can
made
see.
Werewolf Grandma.
Yeah, I can see the werewolf grandma on IMDb, and it looks pretty tight, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
and thanks for the rep.
So I've decided I'm just changing my name. I'm just gonna be the raccoon of Tubi because that's all I do is I go through trash.
You're
But this
welcome.
one's actually really good. I really like this one. So I definitely recommend that.
Thank you.
Obviously, I mean, it is what it is. It's a 1990. We don't even maybe 1990. Don't even know what year for sure it was
It's up
made.
in the air.
It says 91.
Like weird horror movie. It's very low budget, but it's fun.
Just go on IMDb and search Mom 1991, and you'll see a great poster.
Yeah, it's amazing. Just it
I
sold me on
kind
the
of like.
poster.
I kind
alone.
of want that poster for our place. Like in the kitchen.
I'm pretty sure everyone who was involved in making it doesn't even have a poster for it.
And then you'll look at it and you'll be like, oh, you know what? I need to call my mom.
You're right.
Yeah.
She is a monster, and I do need to call.
Busy, you want to knock off one more?
Sure. The other one I watched. This is another Tubi exclusive, I guess.
Man, okay, let's quickly say this. Out of all the things that our friendship has given you, and that's this podcast included,
Yes.
Tubi's got to be the best thing I've given you.
No, actually, Black Christmas is the best thing you've ever
Oh,
given me.
thank you. I appreciate it. And I sort of gave you Halloween.
And sort of Halloween.
Yeah. But okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I like reminiscing about our past.
You're welcome. And I mean, you can tell me the same thing in 3 years after you watch Mom.
Exactly.
You'll be like, wow, I can't believe I watched Mom.
Hey, you gave me something that I'm talking about today.
Oh,
Gonorrhea.
boner.
Yes.
Whoa.
Gonorrhea and a boner.
Anyway, this one we don't have to talk about a lot because I'm very afraid of this movie. It's called Planet Raptor from 2007, directed by Gary Jones. This was the wildest shit I have ever seen. They just took weird cutouts this movie's from 2007, and they took weird cutouts from, like, I'm sure what had to have been Jurassic Park test footage and put it randomly in there.
Yes.
And then there was random stories about, I think what they had is that they had a location that was like an old fort, so that they built the whole story around the fact that they're at this old, like, fort, and yeah, it's really bad.
You really are a bottom feeder, Buzi. I'm looking up the poster here.
Yeah, that one was not a
See,
great.
Buzi's my kind of people. Because, like, me and Mitch will be looking for a movie, and I'll be like, hey, what's this one about? And he will judge it purely just based on the poster. And
You can't do that.
He,
Okay.
he won't even say no. Like, he'll just keep going.
But there is, again, I'm sorry that you have to be here for this, Courtney, but there is a babe in it. And
Ooh.
her name is Vanessa Angel.
That's
and
a Angel.
Yeah, she was in, yeah, I know, sounds like a stripper.
Yeah.
Right up my alley. She was in Kingpin, one of the funniest movies ever made.
So funny.
She was in Super Babies, Baby Geniuses too.
No!
She was in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Shout out moms.
Shut up, moms.
And she's also in King of New York, which is an amazing.
King of New York.
Hey.
Show me a pic.
The best part about Planet Raptor
Yeah,
is
please.
that whoever did the props department went all fucking out. Everyone else in this
When I
movie
was a kid, I
could
was really
give a
embarrassed.
shit less about being in it, but the props department was like, everything's got to look real.
Bro.
I love that.
Bro.
And then they went.
Bro,
Also, I'm pretty sure. Wait, before this, I'm pretty sure they used part of the set from the temple from
Temple of Doom?
Nope, Alien vs Predator, like the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they used some of the set. It must be at a museum or something because it's like identical.
I'm pretty sure that's just CGI, bro.
No, I'm pretty sure they actually had a set for some of that.
Those things that they reuse.
But it looks identical, and it's so fucking
That'd
weird
be
to
weird
watch.
if they kept the Alien vs Predator set around that long.
It's probably just no. It's probably like from a museum or something. And they just dressed
well,
it.
Buddy,
what year did this movie come out, Planet?
07.
Raptor? Okay.
So yeah, it's 3 years later.
Yeah.
There you go.
Buddy, Ted Raimi is also in this film. So shout out Ted Raimi.
Yeah, shout out Ted Raimi.
It's Sam Raimi's brother.
Wasn't he at the thing?
Yeah.
He was in Calgary. Yeah, he was
He was at Hex.
He was on. I went up and talked to him and asked him. I was like, "So, can you tell me anything about a new Evil Dead movie?" And he didn't like
His
that.
skin just looks like it's just about to peel off of his head.
If I
Careful.
Had, if I had
I
a
love
time
Ted
machine,
I love him too, but to look at him is odd.
He's melting.
He's melting. Yeah, it just looks like his face.
No,
is like,
he's like okay. Sam Raimi and Ted Raimi, they're kind of like Bert and Ernie, and Ted Raimi is the Ernie. Or who's the one with the longer head?
Hey, let's
Hey Bert.
let's not compare them because Bert and Ernie are gay lovers,
Are they?
and the Raimis are brothers. So maybe let's use a different.
Okay,
one.
but what I
It's
want,
2020,
what I
babe.
want though is, if we can have technology to go back in time, the first thing I want to do is go back and ask him about Planet Raptor, and he will probably be like, "What the fuck are you talking
Oh
about?"
man, the dude's made so many of those movies. Ted Raimi is in so many
But could
movies
you imagine?
that you're
I
going
would,
to come
I
across.
would love to
If
be.
I could turn back time.
I don't know.
She just like got ready. It was like a cobra ready to strike.
I'm sorry, you guys. I can't stop doing like the weird singing.
I'm pretty sure people are going to have whiplash if they listen to our last episode and this episode, because me and Scott were like very level-headed and normal,
Right.
just talking about movies.
Intellectual.
Yes, intellectual, very smart. Very
Okay, so that was Planet Raptor, by the way.
Love it. Thank you.
cool. Should we knock one off now?
Yeah.
Let's go with porno. We watched this last night. Courtney's looking at me like, what's porno?
No.
This was last
What is
night.
porn?
It's on Shudder. It's a latest Shudder film.
Right.
And basically, this movie centers around a group of teenagers who work at a movie theater, and they uncover some really cryptic tapes, and they start playing these tapes on the big screen, and it
They only have 7 days to
unleashes a
live.
succubus from hell who's there to teach them about sex education.
And these people, like the owner of the theater and whatever, he's like a super Christian. So
Okay.
they like pray before their shifts and stuff.
Yeah, and the projectionist who was my favorite character in the movie. It's like one of the funniest straight edge tropes I've seen in a while. Like he's a straight edge film projectionist.
Yeah.
And Courtney, the first 10 minutes of this movie, we were busting our guts laughing because like there's a scene. I'm just going to spoil it's in the first 10 minutes, but. Two people are outside in an alley having a smoke, and this guy just boots the door open out of nowhere, runs and grabs one of their smokes and throws it at the wall and says, "You want to go to heaven smelling like a fucking ashtray?" And we were laughing our asses off.
It's so funny.
But then Like, less than 10 minutes later, the movie just comes to a screeching halt, and boy, oh boy, did this movie suck my ass.
Whoa.
Like, I did not like this movie at all.
I was not interested in it. It didn't.
No.
It didn't do nothing. Like,
It's just because it was so tonally all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, it starts out really funny, and that's the thing. A lot of these comedy horrors have this issue where if you're going to make a comedy horror, you can't also have like these slow build-up scares,
Right.
Because it just fucks with the pacing of the movie.
yeah, and plus the succubus has like a really, really terribly done like glue on
Bush.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember the name.
Tons of boobs and Bush in
Yeah,
this
she's
movie.
great tits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out some great
Crappy
tits.
Bush.
Would you say natural?
Yes.
The Bush or the boobs?
No, not that we know the bush isn't
yeah.
natural. You just said it's glued on.
But yeah, no, it was weird. But yeah, no, the first part I was like, oh, okay. But I lost interest.
Yeah, I don't know. There is one thing to be said about like there is the practical effects in the movie are really good.
Super good.
Minus the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're
been the easiest
like
part.
specifically like the movie, if you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it for the exploding testicles.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Courtney was freaking out more than I was.
I don't even have balls.
Yeah, there's like a really realistic scene involving some balls.
And it's long. Like, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, they focus the camera on
keep
it.
going back and forth, and it's like, I don't need to see this
And it's like
anymore.
it's clearly a real dick.
It's so real.
So they put the prosthetics on this guy's actual nut. And we're just like zooming in on it. So
Don't like it.
yeah, I don't
No,
know.
it's
You guys
terrifying.
have seen a lot of dick and bush and balls recently.
2020 is the year of the dick.
It is the year of the
No,
dick.
seriously.
No, you can't go. You can't say something like 2020 is the year of anything. Like we're done. 2020 is over. We got to start talking about what 2021 is going to be doing.
But it's
Like,
still
maybe-
2020.
Maybe
Can't be
2021 could be dicks.
Man, imagine 2021 being worse. It just
It's
can't.
going to be.
It can't
just
be.
can't.
It can't
Oh
be.
boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, porno, can't give it a recommend. For me, I just didn't care for it. And Courtney, you weren't really into it, eh?
No, I didn't care for it.
It's the thing. It started out so promising, but that's just for me. I can't handle like super huge tonal shifts in comedy horror.
Okay.
But yeah, that's porno. Boozy, what else you got?
Speaking of porno, we talked to.
We still haven't watched. Kayla she got me the American Werewolf in London porno parody.
Yeah?
And it's unwrapped. It's still wrapped. It's hanging out. It's on my Blu-ray shelf.
I think you showed me it last time. Okay.
Yeah, there's some real talent in it.
Speaking of that, I watched the Erotic Witch Project, which is what we talked to Eduardo about.
Shout out a good dick.
Have you guys seen this?
No.
Have you guys seen this? Like seriously? Okay, so
The only one I've seen out of the pornos that are made into movies, and I'm excited to watch American Werewolf in London, but I did see the Spider-Man porno.
Interesting. I thought you were going to go in a Star Wars direction.
Me too.
Okay, I've seen Star Wars porn
There
too.
you go.
But no, the Spider-Man one, Electro's in it, and how he's like the villain, obviously.
Does he shoot web from his yoke?
No, he jizzes electricity on everyone and he kills everyone. It's
what the fuck?
Yeah, and like you know that
Who writes the lore
You know
for
that,
that?
you know that really romantic scene between Tobey Maguire and
upside
down kiss.
Yeah.
There's an upside down blowjob.
Oh my god.
So yeah, peep game.
Wow.
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to give a quick review of the Erotic Witch Project.
Yes, please
and
do.
I hope that Eduardo does see it someday because
We could send it to him.
it was so fucking funny. It is
Guys should send
it is unintentionally the funniest porno I've ever seen. So let me just set up the premise for you. It's 3 women with tramp stamps, all low on funds in about the year 2000. Now, all of them are very heterosexual. But what's called for in the movie is a lot of things that are not heterosexual. So what leads, and also you have,
I can guarantee Eduardo's seen this one because it came on 2000.
yeah.
So for sure he's seen this one.
It is.
But you found
so
another one.
Fucking funny.
You found a different. Oh, is there a scene in the corner? Like, did you watch the whole thing?
I did watch the whole thing. I'm trying to remember. Yes, there was. Okay, so
How many times did you shoot rope during?
No. So what I'm trying to say is this is a hour and a half movie of
What?
hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like hour and 20, something like that.
I know you're used to the 3-minute videos that you steal from the internet, Courtney, but
Yeah,
some people.
Courtney.
I don't pay for it.
Okay, well, the other thing in this is that they basically just had the camera guy tell these 3 girls to just say whatever. They were like, the idea for the movie is maybe this. So if you want to watch an hour, let's say an hour and 20, just to be generous, of 3 women pretending to be sexually attracted to each other while also trying to make a storyline for a movie they have not seen and don't really understand what's going on. Literally the whole time they'll be walking through the woods going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then someone will come running out of nowhere naked. And then all of a sudden there'll be a tarp laying down in the bush. And it is and then 2 people who clearly don't want to kiss each other. It's really fucking weird.
I don't know if I want to see it, to be honest.
Yeah. It was something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
recommend. Where'd you watch it? Pornhub?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was on Pornhub.
Sorry, what was the title?
The Erotic Witch Project. And they're trying to find the erotic
They could
witch.
have done better with that fucking title. Okay.
No. Well, what else? They could have named someone Blair.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's that. Don't watch
Or
it.
like, no, never mind.
Jay's just texted me. He's trying to flex on me, saying that the director of My Heart Can't Beat liked his Letterboxd review. I was like, suck my ass, kid. He's coming on the show.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about it.
Ever say suck my ass about Jay ever again. He is a national treasure.
Yeah, Jay is great. Let's talk about a movie that I know all 3 of us have seen that I bet Buzi wasn't planning on talking about on the show, but I think we should mention it. And that is the new documentary, newish, American Murder, the Chris Watts story.
American Murder. Yeah.
American Murder.
American Murder.
Courtney, since you're the
True crime.
Sorry, Buzi, because Buzi's also
that's
the
fine.
true crime guy, but we'll give you that title because
I don't want to be the guy.
So-
she needs something.
So I'm not spoiling anything here because I'm pretty sure
It's
everybody
history.
knows. Exactly.
Could you imagine someone be like, what?
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
When we watched it,
Right.
I didn't
and
know
I was
about
like,
Chris
are
Watts.
you kidding me? I know every single fucking detail. But
So
yeah.
this is on Netflix, though. I should point that out.
It's on Netflix, and Chris Watts is a family annihilator. Basically, the lowest of the low. He's such a fucking piece of shit.
I've
dude.
seen. Oh yeah, no, I know he's bad, but I've seen some pretty despicable people.
There's some despicable people, but he's in the top for me. I'm not gonna lie. And this show is different from lots of the true crime documentaries because this one is fully on video.
And it's all shown through footage.
It's all footage, so like you see like not the dash cam, but like the body cam of the police.
Yeah.
You see like neighbor footage and
Their
aerial footage.
security footage.
Exactly. And the wife, Shanann, she was like a Facebook, not an influencer.
No,
but
she wanted to be.
She had some
She
sort
sold
of online.
fucking Avon.
Yeah, she was a very annoying Avon lady. That's the kind of sad. But we gotta admit, she's fucking annoying.
She's
like,
fucking annoying.
Did
but,
not
like,
mean that
just
she needed to
get
get
a
murdered.
divorce.
Yeah,
You know.
agreed.
No, but like that's what her job was. Is like there's always the head of the pyramid scheme for
Yeah.
Avon. That was her role because she had like the vehicle that looked like it and shit.
But yeah, they did a good job, and I feel like they didn't go into too much detail about the kids.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is good
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've obviously done a super deep dive into this multiple times, and it is fucking tragic.
I don't think they would honestly like just from the amount of stuff I've seen on Netflix. I don't think they would cross that. There are certain things
Yes.
that
Have
Netflix
you guys
won't.
have
talk
either
about.
of you
agree.
seen the Cheshire Murders?
Yes.
It's
No.
one of the most disturbing documentaries I've seen, but it's another one that deals with like kids and stuff, like where you can't handle that
And
stuff,
that
and
one's
it's
just like so far out of left field. Like,
Cheshire.
what?
Yeah, if anyone's listening and hasn't seen the Cheshire Murders and you're a big fan of like true crime, that's a must see.
Is that on Netflix?
No, it's not.
No.
I think I believe it might be on Crave. It might be on Tubi. It actually might be on Tubi.
To be coming to the rescue.
But
It's so tragic, and like
I knew nothing. I knew very little going into it, and I just gotta say the reason I want to mention it is because the filmmaking is what was the star of it for me. I thought it was so well put together. It was a really interesting and unique way to tell a story like this. And
sorry,
it's
Chris Watts or Cheshire?
Chris Watts,
Oh, okay.
the American Murder, and my favorite part in the movie is the scene where the guy is in his neighbor's house.
Oh my gosh.
When he's like. That's when he starts coming undone and realizing that he got busted because the
Right.
neighbor has him leaving the house on
his
camera
truck at, like,
and
4
he's,
o'clock in the morning.
He's like standing next to the police. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go. I gotta go." And I was
So
like,
he leaves, and the neighbor's literally like, He never acts.
That
like
was the
Oh,
best
I
part of
love
that.
it.
Is
This is not normal for
as
him.
soon as he goes outside, is he always this talkative? This guy never talks.
Yeah.
And he's over there. He's like, "Hey man, how's it going? What's up? What's going on?" Like it's this complete
Finger guns.
Yeah, he
As
was
soon
finger
as he
pointing at
left,
everybody.
oh gosh. But yeah, just a terrible story. And you know what the worst part? Not the worst, okay. But you know what a terrible part of it is? After
All of
that
it?
documentary came out, his like fan mail from women like tripled.
Yeah, it's
That's-
just because exposure. It's
People
naturally gonna,
are-
unfortunately.
Fucked.
Yep.
It's true. People romanticize criminals way too much.
But if you guys want to feel better, from everything I've heard, he's having an awful time in prison.
Good.
So that can make us all feel a little bit better.
Love it. Love it.
I
So,
hope
yeah.
he's getting the mop handle 3 times a day.
Oh my god. American Murder. That's on Netflix. Buzi, you got another one you want to knock
Yeah.
out?
Okay. This is. I kind of saved this to like towards the last one because this is the inner raccoon in me found this on Tubi and it is glorious. Have you guys seen or heard of The Rift from 1990?
Yes. And
it has Arlie Ermy in it.
I saw this when I was a young boy, and I rented it from the theater.
good.
Oh man, I haven't seen it in years, but you just brought back a memory.
I was okay. I don't know why. I've just been watching a ton of those movies. I think it's just
It's
literally
an aquatic horror movie,
I'm,
right?
I'm just gonna come back to the fact and say that probably like Underwater was probably still my favorite movie from this year because it's made me watch so much shit that's like it. And
That is wild.
And it is.
I'm
And
happy you loved it,
I
though.
love
That's
Underwater so much, and like, but this is one of them. But that like a
Ooh, Ray
Tubi's figure.
Wise is
Yeah,
in
Ray
it.
Wise.
So good, and practical effects are amazing. Obviously, you can tell this movie definitely loved ripping off Alien, but it did it in a great way. And I
So
think
did
this movie-
Underwater.
tons of movies, yeah, but like it, fantastic. I would definitely recommend.
I'd
this
watch
movie.
it for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Sweet. So that was The Rift.
Yeah, from 1990, and that's on Tubi. That's a hidden gem.
Okay, that's sweet to know that it's on Tubi because I want to revisit that
They
one
have
now.
a full category of hidden gems.
Fuck you guys, we still have Courtney, we have so many movies to get through. We got to point out that the reason we've seen, I know it's an ongoing joke that I always watch a bajillion movies,
Yeah,
but this is over the span of a month.
We
Right.
literally have nothing else to do.
Yeah, and so
We can't leave the house.
let's talk about a new one that we just saw last weekend, and that is a film called Run,
Oh.
which came out, I believe it came out last week. It's available on Hulu for American listeners, but we do not have Hulu, so we had to purchase it on the PlayStation Network.
Oof, boo.
It wasn't that expensive though, I don't
No,
think. Couple
no,
bucks. Like,
it's $6. Like it's
Yeah, I was
it's,
gonna say
it's
under
less
10.
it's less than a rental when we used to rent from Blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, this
Yeah, but
is
when you go to Blockbuster, you'd have that guy that stood at the till and fucking hated your guts.
that was me.
Yeah, that was
me,
part
my
of the
guy.
yeah,
experience.
it was Mitchell.
Yeah, Saturday night you're renting fucking whatever's new. Mitch is gonna fucking judge you the whole time.
We had a film fest meeting last night, and one of the things that came up was how at one point I was referred to as the little Indian boy or the tall Indian boy who worked at Rogers Video.
boy.
What?
Yeah, someone called in and complained about me because I recommended them William Friedkin's Bug. It's a movie that I the Ashley Judd movie. Every time I didn't like someone or I wanted them to get the fuck out of my face, I would say, "Oh, you gotta see this." I'm like, it's the director, The Exorcist, and The French Connection. And,
You're gonna love it.
and honestly, I like Bug. I think it's a good, decent movie, but I know that's one of the movies in my time of working at Rogers Video that was like had so many complaints. But like, so when my sister's ex-boyfriends would come in and pretend to be like buddy with me, I'm like, "Oh, bro, you gotta see Bug."
Have you seen Bug Dog?
Yeah, but they're like, "Well, I was actually coming in for that new Eddie Murphy movie, Norbit."
I was just about to say Norbit.
Norbit came
My
out when I was
lord.
working at the video store, but I had him leave with Bug instead. But yeah, anyways, like I'm not I'm not indigenous at all, but I'm very tanned. But I remember being like, I feel kind of offended that she called me out as the tall Indian boy. I'm like, that's very politically incorrect, sir.
Super politically incorrect.
Anyways, Run. I don't know where. I have no idea how we got in this. But Run is a new Sarah Paulson movie. Rest in peace, because me and Kyle canceled her on the episode that Tara was on.
She has dead eyes, which is what we discovered.
Yes, thank you. She has dead eyes, and like she's just emotionless to me. Like she puts off so much emotion, but it all just like translate to nothing. I can't stand her. All right, so Courtney, can you give us a synopsis of Run?
Sure. So this is a movie about a teenage girl who is just trying to get into colleges, and she's sick. So she has a bunch of different illnesses. She's confined to a wheelchair, and a couple events happen that lead her to believe that possibly her mom might be the one who's intentionally making her sick.
Yeah, so this one, like we said, stars Deadeye Sarah Paulson, Kira Allen, who both of us thought that we knew her from something.
But it's introducing.
Yeah, well, this is like her first feature film, I believe. I'm gonna, okay.
Who did we figure out that she reminded us of?
This is her first feature. I can't remember.
I can't either.
But
she's incredible, though.
Yeah, and so this one is also, I'm just looking it up here. It's directed by Anish Shaganati. I'm sorry. I butchered that. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But she's the writer and director of the film. And Pat Healy's in the film. I love him. I always
Pat
love
Healy.
him. Yeah, and he plays the Pop-Pop. Or wait, no, that was Dinner in America. I'm sorry. He's also in Dinner in America. I'm getting him mixed up.
He plays like a delivery driver.
Right.
He's
I'm
like
getting
a
the movies
Purolator guy.
Yes, I'm getting the movies mixed up. What did you
Love
think?
Pat Healy, though.
Yeah, he's so great. What did you think of Run, Courtney?
I liked the movie a lot. I'm just finished reading a book, and I'm reading another book that kind of are on the same topic about Munchausen by proxy. And obviously the Gypsy Rose case that came out years ago.
Yeah, for those who don't know, like Munchausen by proxy is when a mother is intentionally making their kids sick to keep them at home. Is that not what it is?
And not necessarily a mother. It
Any
can be,
caregiver.
It's a caregiver making someone sick so that they get the sympathy.
That was very 2020 man of me to assume that. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just wondering if it's specifically like if
No.
a mother does it versus anybody
It's
else.
just the most famous cases, like you had mentioned, the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, which if anyone's listening, you haven't watched The Act on Crave. It's on Crave, but it's so good. And that whole case. And what's the documentary? Mommy, Dead and Dearest?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mommy didn't dare.
So that's a bizarre case, and this movie has a lot of the same leanings.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I thought that it was a really tight thriller. Like
it is, and like there's so little characters in it.
Yeah. I feel like Sarah Paulson, like this. I
thought she was really good in this movie.
I despise her.
I know.
And she's really good in this case because she's playing a soulless piece of garbage, and so she kills it.
Yeah, and there's just things that happen. It's like,
Didn't love the ending.
It's like, okay, you know when you watch the new Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson?
Oh my god.
And the movie itself is like,
Yeah, I don't know that.
And then the end of the movie, she's like, I liked your beard or
yeah,
whatever.
like it's like it goes against it goes against the purpose of the entire story.
Yeah.
Like, what she's trying to say in Beauty and the Beast, the whole movie is about not judging people by their appearance.
Right.
And then at the end, it's like, I liked you better with a beard.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck that movie.
And then just show tunes ending.
Remember, Courtney and I saw Beauty and the Beast in D-Box. So our seats would move. It's
Did
like,
we D-Box?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, remember? Because we were sitting next to a guy we went to high school with, and it was really awkward because it's like the whole chair is moving, and I'm like, why is the chair moving? It's Beauty and the Beast.
It was the most interactive Beauty and the Beast ever.
Yeah.
But no, all in all, it was a good movie. I had fun watching it. I'm glad we watched it.
I would definitely recommend
There's
it.
not enough, in my opinion, there's not enough movies and things out there. Like, the first time I remember seeing anything like this was in The Sixth Sense.
Right.
Misha Barton.
Right. Misha Barton.
Yeah.
Yes. The OC. Shout out.
The OC. Yeah, she was a train wreck for a while. No judgment.
Was she, or just in the show?
No, in real life.
Oh, I didn't keep
We
up
all
with
go
that.
through our Amanda Bynes phase.
I did.
I never went through an Amanda Bynes phase. I was always true to Hillary Duff.
Honestly, no. Mitch.
I was, though. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about her going nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitch is like, no, Hillary all the way.
Hillary did go through a phase, but it wasn't her fault.
She barely went through a phase.
She went through a phase.
Barely. Are you talking about her sucking that NHL player's dick when... No, but that's what happened.
No, she had an eating disorder and she got her teeth extended.
She needed her teeth extended?
She got them
How
like...
can you extend your teeth?
It's like I don't know. It's like an add-on.
Body mod.
Yeah. Anyways,
Run's a good movie.
it's good. Yeah.
It's not one that I'm going to be like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget about it by this time next year. But the thing is, we all need stuff to watch right now. And
Absolutely.
this, you could do a lot worse than
And
Run.
it was enjoyable enough.
It's
right?
Yeah, if you're into thrillers and stuff like that, everything's here for you. Everything's here for a good little tight thriller. But yeah, it's a
little tight thriller.
tight.
Tight.
Boozy, what else you got?
I watched from this year. I watched His House,
Yes,
which is a hard movie to. It's like a mouthful. His House.
We're all talking about it now, so
Sorry.
let's all open up.
Such a good movie.
I remember watching that movie and being like, "This is my number one this year."
Yeah,
And then
I
you saw
just
Dark
said
and the
that-
Wicked.
His House is like
It's insane.
It's so good. I'm so happy you liked it.
Yeah.
I did. It was such an interesting take. Like the whole time I was like, I've never seen something quite like
Nothing
this.
like it.
No, and this, so this one's also on Netflix. It's a new Netflix original.
Yes, thank you Netflix for blessing us.
So I believe it's a family who is escaping. Was it Syria?
Sudan.
Sudan. Oh shit. Okay. You can.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't have more to say about Sudan?
Boozy, you continue about His House. So His House, it's on Netflix. The synopsis is a refugee couple makes a harrowing escape from war-torn South Sudan. But then they struggle to adjust to their new life in an English town that has an evil lurking beneath the surface. So this is like an incredibly layered film. I thought that this is maybe by far the best horror movie that Netflix has released, like as a Netflix original.
Yeah, it is.
Because this, in my mind, is definitely one of the best horror movies of the year.
This is like Netflix's A24 movie.
Yeah,
and I know that we talked about how that's such a dead thing to be like, oh, it's an A24 or whatever, but this is such a beautiful movie.
It has similarities to an A24
exactly,
production.
and it's so artsy, and I think that's probably going to get lost on a lot of people. I'm assuming
that'd be upsetting if it did, because I think that there's enough to grasp on here that I would be comfortable recommending this one to almost anyone.
The acting alone
It's
of
so
the
good.
two main
and
characters
the
is
levels of the
incredible.
story.
The character arcs, like there are arcs throughout this thing that make you, like by the halfway point, you're completely rethinking the entire film.
Exactly. It's like, what's real? What's happening? Where are we?
Huge shout out to our boys Erie International. They did an episode on this a couple weeks ago, and it was a great conversation. And this is a movie that like you could talk about for hours,
yeah.
and they did a
100%.
great job at doing that. It was very nice for me because I saw the film as well, and I was just like, it blew me away. I thought it was so good. And honestly, this and Dark and the Wicked genuinely scared me.
Yeah,
I don't get
100%.
it doesn't scare, like I very rarely get that experience because I'm such a desensitized loser. But like even you messaged me a couple nights ago being like, bro, I want to be shook. I want to get scared. What should I watch?
100%.
And I said, His House. I gave you Mortuary Collection and His House. And His House is genuinely terrifying. But it's also just such a gut-wrenching, heartfelt movie that really comes together by the end. I really, really enjoyed it.
There's a lot to it, and it's one of those ones that does stick with you after. You can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I want to watch again, even before the end of the year, because I loved it.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Happy you dug it too, man. You got anything else?
Thank you for the recommendation. I do have more.
You look like a Rastafarian right now.
Boozy's wearing his toque
over top of the headphones.
For our American listeners, a toque is also called a beanie.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Is that a thing?
I don't think they have toques.
They have beanies.
Yeah, toque is a Canadian thing,
Like
I think.
skater boys wear them off like the back of their head.
But when I think beanie, I think like the full like long like it's its own little sack. This is more just like a little head condom.
Keeps your head warm. Yeah. Keeps the tip warm.
You
Do you remember
said
those
sack and condom within like a minute.
Do you remember those little plastic things that look like little tip things, and you could flip them inside out and you put them down, and then they would like pop? Do you know what the fuck I'm
Yes!
Yeah,
right? The most 90s
Ruckers.
toy. Yeah, it was like
Ruckers.
it was like the shittiest toy ever, but you could have hours of entertainment. I want like a full set.
I'm gonna also point out, Boozy, question for you.
Yes.
I asked Kurt this question, like my boss asked him today. Were you one of those kids that had one of those long dinosaur toques?
Dinosaur tubes.
Like where remember like someone's mom made
Boozy
them.
was not a raver.
No, like they.
Oh, are you talking about like the?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Okay, yeah.
No, I was not. Yeah, I was definitely not a raver.
those were for fuck boys.
I feel like anything I did, I wore was like close to me because I was like a little emo kid, so I didn't want the huge thing. You know what I mean?
Well, this would have been way before you were an emo kid. Like, I'm talking when you were a child.
Oh, no.
You're wearing this thing, like, heading to school, and, kids would push your face into a pile of snow.
No, if you're asking if I got bullied on the way to school, no, I didn't. I walked alone most of the time. Like, I was a Godsmack song, right, Courtney?
That's right.
I stand alone inside.
Anyway,
shout out Scorpion King.
I just want to say that for some reason, I keep watching movies from 1990. It's unintentional.
It's because it was the year of our birth.
Mine and Courtney's, not Buzi's.
No.
Buzi's a couple years younger than us.
Because he knows what's good for him.
Yeah.
Anywho, I watched Sean Astin starring in The Willies.
Never even
I
heard
don't
of
think
it.
I've
Google
seen
it.
that.
Google The Willies.
Is it like
So-
WILL?
Yeah. So basically, it's these three kids telling each other like campfire stories, and then they all intertwine with each other. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is once again a Tubi exclusive.
Cool poster. Looks like a 2B poster.
Yeah, totally, and very cool practical effects. There's a spooky monster in it. It's actually a lot of fun.
Love the poster.
It was a lot of fun to watch. I don't know. It's definitely one of those low budget. If you want to watch a real low budget anthology kind of deal, there it is right there.
Sick.
And it's a very young Sean Astin, and they made this one kid. I'll just say this: there's one story, and it's about a kid being obsessed with flies and bugs, and they made this kid do some real fucking grody shit. Like he had to lay in like worms and I don't know. They made him like
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You weren't privy to this prior. We did already discuss this, that it was written and directed by Brian Peck, who is a world-class piece of shit.
which I did not know
Yeah,
until
he's
I clicked because I was like, who would make this weird Goosebumps-esque?
Yeah, he's currently still working. He's a working pedophile.
I'm
He
looking.
was convicted.
and he's working now.
Yeah, and he worked at Nickelodeon. He also worked on Return.
I will flip this
Uh-oh.
table.
He worked on Return of the Living Dead, Holes.
Holes. Yeah, I bet he did.
Holy shit,
Courtney.
Courtney.
Sorry, but like
Holy shit. Holy shit.
sidebar. I was looking through the cast of the Willies, and
Yeah, of course.
the one in here it says tough dude
Yeah.
is Dana Ashbrook,
Yeah.
who was in Twin Peaks.
Nice.
He was like the boyfriend of oh god, what was his name? He was like the cool boyfriend of that woman who was married to the trucker.
Yes. Yeah, the
Bobby
leather
or
jacket.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, or Billy.
You know,
Billy.
Billy Leather Jacket, obviously. That fucking guy.
I've never seen him.
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby Briggs.
Bobby Briggs with his leather jacket,
Like,
obviously.
look at this picture of him on IMDb.
Yeah, looks exactly like him.
Yeah, wild.
But yeah,
Sorry, busy.
it's really hard to co-sign this movie after Mitch just said that, but it is kind of an interesting movie to watch.
I'd watch it.
It's on Tubi, so nobody's making money off of it.
I feel like that's like a good like late night like let's just put something on.
No,
for
it totally.
fun.
You don't have to pay attention that much because obviously they weren't paying attention that much when they made it. There's a lot of times where it's just randomly out of focus, and I thought my TV was fucked.
It was just bad filming or
Yeah, I was just like, "What's going on?"
a directive choice.
He was just off grooming kids.
Oh my god!
Okay.
My God.
Oh my god!
Yeah, let's go on to one of the heavy hitters of the episode that Buzi has already spoken about, The Wolf of Snow Hollow. So this is a new 2020 movie, Wolf of Snow Hollow. It's written and directed by Jim Cummings. It's also starring Jim Cummings, who was the writer-director of Thunder Road.
Can I just say we stand for Jim Cummings now?
We're stans?
Yeah, we're stands for him
We
already.
are stans, yeah. Yeah, this movie, and it's also, when Buzi mentioned Jimmy Tatro, I was drawing a blank on. I was like, "Who the fuck's Jimmy Tatro?" And then I remember, I looked it up.
He's the best.
He's from College Humor. He's the lead in American Vandal,
Right.
which Jesse Sawitsky thought was real. And
Yeah, never let him let that down.
okay, so I'm gonna lead off. I'm going to town on Jambi in the next 5 minutes.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so this movie, it's a werewolf film. Also, what's one of the final roles of the late great Robert Forster.
All right.
It was so good.
Yeah, so this is a comedy. Comedy horror thriller. The synopsis is: terror grips a small mountain town as bodies are discovered after each full moon. Losing sleep, raising a teenage daughter, and caring for his ailing father, Officer Marshall struggles to remind himself that there's no such thing as werewolves. This movie is so fucking good.
It's awesome.
It is so good.
It's Courtney's number one of the year. She just doesn't know it yet.
It's probably going to be your number one of the year.
I could change my mind.
But yeah, this thing, it's a really interesting take on the werewolf subgenre. I can see that I could understand people not loving it by the end of it. Like,
Right.
I can understand it's
Yeah.
not going to be
For
everyone's
what it
bag.
is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not going to be everyone's bag. Very much my thing. I laughed throughout. We were both killing
I
ourselves
was going to
laughing.
say, the comedy in that movie is incredible.
But not just the comedy, like the horror too. Like this
Yeah.
is there are scary parts in this film, and they play such a straight face to a lot of it. I think this is a lot more of like, yeah, it is a prototype of a werewolf movie that like Mitch and myself would really enjoy, and obviously
Yeah.
we did. It's a siege movie. First off, it's like a big time. It's a siege movie. It's got a whole bunch of like drama and like comedy in it.
It feels
It's a small town cop movie,
Yeah,
which
like
I
it's-
love. Like a small town sheriff's office. Give me it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like comparisons to Fargo being made, and it's obviously not as like intelligent as Fargo, but it does have those similarities.
I like the similarities.
Oh yeah, I love it as well. Text from Jesse Sawitsky this morning. I can say this now because he's not here to defend himself. Hello, The Wolf of Snow Hollow kind of really sucked. Okay, bye. I said, did you think it was real, like American Vandal again?
Oh my goodness.
Let's
and then he
remind
didn't
us.
respond.
No, he did it, but he said that like 80% of the jokes missed him, and I'm like, that blows my mind. Because in my
Those should have hit him the hardest.
I know. I thought that it's very much Jambi's type of stuff. This is our friend that we're
He
talking
was
about.
probably too busy playing with kitties.
Yeah, he's playing with kitties and getting stoned and being a degenerate. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this movie was amazing.
It was fun.
It was so good, and it's definitely one of my favorites of the year.
I would watch it again too.
I intend on watching it again.
Okay,
this week.
without spoiling it, how did you guys feel about the ending?
I was fine with it.
I loved it. I
I wish it was different, but I still like it.
Yeah, me too.
I was. What I will say is, like, when I finished it, I was very surprised that you liked it as much as you did.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was a very original and different take on it, and they did it.
Oh,
It was very well executed, and it doesn't deter away from the fact that the horror scenes in the movie are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're very good, and they're very visceral, very violent. The werewolf looks awesome.
Someone did their werewolf homework.
Yeah,
like,
but
Honestly.
obviously the star of the movie is Jim Cummings,
Cummings, yeah.
who's so good. And his comedic timing. Even we watched the trailer before we started recording. I love the we're gonna find him and I'm gonna catch him. Where he's talking about like it's the whole movie is essentially a comment on bumbling idiot cops
Yep.
and small town police forces. And I think they did such a good job of
also, there's a family drama within. There's one whole scene where he's supposed to be like a high speed pursuit, and he gets in an argument with his daughter. Do you remember? Like, it's like shit like that. It's like that doesn't happen in typical movies in terms of story progression.
Yeah, I loved it. Jambi's an idiot. Great movie.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm really looking
I
forward.
recommend it.
I really am looking forward to picking up a Blu-ray when it's released because I would also like to see
yes.
some special features.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kyle's gonna be like, God, I wish I could play one of
Kyle
those.
just threw his headphones at the floor.
Kyle's
Blu-rays.
punching a wall right now.
But yeah, so that was The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Boozy, what else you got? How many more do you got? Let's gauge where we're at here.
I'm trying to see how much I have left because I've talked about so many. I have kind of a throwaway one. This is another Tubi one. Just don't watch it. It's called Werewolf Rising. I have no idea. It hurt my head watching it. I've never seen someone edit going through a door like 60 times in a row and just try to make it scary and also impactful. It actually hurt, but yeah,
From 2014.
Yes.
So it's yeah. This looks real bad. I don't know. Well, I guess I
am willing
should expect
to
no less from you.
Yeah,
at this
exactly.
point.
I am willing to. I am the raccoon of Tubi.
Yeah, you
I
are.
will go through. But that's
Just so you know, though, on average, like I look up every one of these movies that you talk about, and on average, your Tubi films they average around a 2.2 out of 10. That's actually real.
And I'm not surprised.
I'm pretty sure you have talked about a couple that have reached the 1 territory.
Oh, dude, I have some.
One?
I have some that I didn't even like rate. That's how bad they are.
That blood surf, I can't.
Blood surf.
Yeah, it's an alligator.
Oh, yeah. Okay, once you see the poster, you'll be like, oh, blood surf.
Yeah, I probably.
Poster is
No, the
fucking
poster's
stupid.
so cool.
It's not cool.
It's the most 90s
It is
fucking.
not cool.
It's like, here's a big fucking thingy.
It's an alligator. Like
Do you like to surf? Do you have blood? Welcome to Blood Surf.
Put your blood in the surf. Yeah, that's all I've seen.
Is that it?
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, god damn it, Buzi. You gotta have more.
That's it. Yeah, that's.
All right, well, we'll start wrapping up here then, because we don't have too many more. But
Why are you guys getting mad at me if you guys only have a little bit more?
Oh no, we got a lot more.
Yeah, we got a few.
That's all I got.
Let's talk about Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor. So this is a film from the son of Cronenberg. This is his second film. His first movie was Antiviral, which I thought had some really cool... I know, but neither of you guys have seen this one. I thought it had a really cool concept that just didn't really work for me. I know a lot of people feel differently. They really like it. That's a movie where it's basically... It's like in an alternate future where people can contract viruses and illnesses from celebrities that they like. So it's like if Katy Perry catches a cold, you could buy a jar of her coughing in it to catch the same cold. So it's a kind of a cool idea. It's
So
also
it's
The
incredible.
only person whose cold I would catch these days is Tom Hanks.
What?
If Tom
He-
Hanks goes, I want to go.
Courtney, he was like one of the first celebrities to get COVID.
And I know that, and I was fucking devastated.
Yeah,
I was
Tom
like,
Hanks is at the front lines of this
If
shit.
2020 takes Tom Hanks, I'm fucking out of here. Like, take me home, country road.
So yeah, I thought that movie, the idea was a little underbaked. It felt a little stupid to me. But he's also...
I can't see a
It's a far-fetched idea.
I can't see anywhere where that would be a great full-length movie.
yeah.
I still thought it was really interesting, though.
No, we're talking about Antiviral.
Oh.
Possessor is
Yeah.
his new movie.
Yeah,
And this
okay.
one's starring Jennifer Jason Leigh, Christopher Abbott. Who was the... I'm going to look it up here because I'm drawing a blank.
The
'cause
blonde girl?
We've watched a lot of films recently.
Yes.
I want to make sure I get her. Andrew Riseborough. She's the lead in the film. But yeah, the synopsis of Possessor is: Possessor follows an agent who works for a secretive organization that uses brain implant technology to inhabit other people's bodies, ultimately driving them to commit assassinations for high-paying clients.
So it's just MK Ultra.
No, it's Courtney and I watched the Assassin's Creed movie right before this. We did not plan on that, but we watched the Michael Fassbender.
There's an Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, it came out in 2016. It was a huge movie. It was awful.
I must,
don't
I must have been
watch that.
sleeping.
It was very, very bad. I am a massive fan of the Assassin's Creed series, but I put that movie off because I knew I just wouldn't like it. So I
Name
was
your
like, what's
top
the
three.
point? Assassin's Creed? Odyssey is my favorite. And then I would say Black Flags 2. And then, honestly, Assassin's Creed 2 is probably my third.
I was going to say, why does no one ever like the original of anything?
Well, the original Assassin's Creed is not even close to one of the best ones. The original Assassin's Creed game is it's undercooked. They had an amazing idea. They couldn't pull it off yet. Don't ever test me on Assassin's Creed again. I'm a big fan. Anyways,
I know you are. That's why I wanted to know.
Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Possessor has a very, very similar concept to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it actually does,
Right.
though.
But it's so good.
I love it.
This isn't, man, I know that I keep on saying it's going to be one of my favorite movies of the year. When we do our top 10s, I'm going to be up against the wall because I think this year has been amazing for horror movies.
It has been.
There's been so many great new...
Surprisingly, yes.
Oh yeah. I think it's miles ahead of last year already. I've seen so many really cool, interesting, different ideas, and Possessor's definitely one of them.
Well, and there's an actor in that movie. I'm going to rely on Mitch for the name. So he is like a main character, sort of, in the
Tom
movie.
Hanks.
I wish.
Is he in Black Bear?
Pardon? Yeah, and it's
Christopher Abbott.
Chris what, sorry?
Christopher Abbott.
Christopher Abbott. And he has, like, definitely the swim fan vibe going on.
What does that mean?
Like the actor from Swim Fan?
He doesn't know. The guy from Clock Stoppers? This is our annual Clock Stoppers reference of the episode.
All right, here we go.
He's in Clock
Anyways,
Stoppers.
he's just like, he's such an interesting person to watch because I don't know if I like him or if I don't.
I love
Okay.
him.
You know, but no,
He's in It Comes at Night as well. He's the one who shows up at
Oh,
Joel
he's
Edgerton's.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I know exactly what
He's-
you're talking about.
He is a fun person to watch.
Wasn't he in
that
Star
movie.
Wars?
I can't remember him in any Star Wars movies, but I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, and I know Courtney for some reason doesn't like Jennifer Jason Leigh. Makes no sense to me.
For some reason, her face doesn't change. She can't use how are you supposed to act if you can't use your face expressively?
Courtney, you have
This is Jennifer Jason Leigh. Oh no. There's been an alien landing on the planet. We have to go in.
Okay,
That's
so
That was a pretty good
So
impression.
you're-
That's what she sounds like.
So you're referencing Annihilation, which
Yes.
Okay, believe it or not, she has done more than that movie.
Believe it or not, it's the same character.
It's not. She's phenomenal.
You know what? I didn't like her back when she was a teenager.
In Fast Times at Ridgemont
And
High.
I still don't like her.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm not going to be rude because apparently when
You've
I'm on
already
this,
done that.
when I'm on this show, I'm rude about people that I don't like.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm entitled to my own opinion, just
Everybody's
like you are.
entitled.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like Jennifer
Jason Leigh.
Leigh.
Possessor's a great movie. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a really interesting take on it's not even
Honestly, I'd like to watch it again, to be honest.
it's just a very good movie. It's very tightly written. I love the Child's Play 2-esque effects there. For anyone who's seen it, they'll know what I mean. But like when these characters are taking because it's all about them going into other people's bodies and then
Right.
committing assassinations. But in those scenes, there's it's like a really almost art house type style that Brandon Cronenberg creates by having you watch a person basically being built and their skin is wax.
Okay.
And it looks like the opening of Child's Play 2, and I think it's beautiful. It looks so good. The movie's really intense, and it pays off in a big way. I loved it. I really, really loved it. And it just goes to show the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because his dad is one of the greatest horror directors of all
I
time.
wonder, he could probably write a really interesting book.
Brandon Cronenberg?
Yeah.
Or David
Absolutely.
Cronenberg?
No, Brandon Cronenberg. Just
Growing
about
up with
growing.
him,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting
Yeah,
book.
just having a psychopath as a dad
Well,
who's a genius.
that has to dement you in some way, right?
Yeah,
because he's gonna exorcist crawl across the hallway to read you a bedtime story, and you're like, Dad, stop it.
No, Cronenberg he has his own little lab in his house.
Yeah.
So he's trying to create something fucking that shouldn't be fucked with.
Yeah.
But-
They'd come down. It'd be like
No.
Dexter's lab. He'd go down and be like, Dad, what are you working on? He's like, I'm trying to turn myself into a fly.
Cronenberg's movie, The Brood, is a direct response to him going through a divorce. So
Yeah.
it's
Brood was wild.
I loved it. I love that movie. But
That just shows what divorce will do to a guy.
yeah, rest in peace, 1999. My parents got a divorce. Okay, yeah. So Courtney, do you have anything else you want to mention, any books or stuff that you want to talk about?
You keep talking, I'll look up, because it's been a bad year for me for reading, just because
Oh, it's been a bad year for you?
Okay, you keep on doing that.
I've been working at my office since all of this began.
You've been slanging that Yola.
So I haven't had the chance that other people have had to be home and choose things that you want to do. And I used to have an hour lunch break at work, and I went from having an hour to just not having one and having to eat at my desk.
Right.
So
Lunch is a very important thing to get rid of.
yeah, exactly. So to have that at least 1 hour a day where I could sit down
Right.
and read really affected my juju.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm feeling
no.
that.
So the last one I just finished was really fun, and it was the one.
Is it a horror book?
It's
Could you talk about horror books that you've read?
It's like a Munchausen book.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you're big on the Munchausen right now.
So it's called Saving Megan.
Munching down on Munchausen.
Yeah.
Mitch's new cooking book. / you're feeling kind of sick, aren't you book.
Anyways, it was really fun. It's is she sick because she's just sick? Is she sick because her mom's making her sick? But it's twists and turns, and I was riveted the whole time. I also read a book called The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. And it's basically this group of friends that gets together every year for New Year's. They're friends from college. I can't remember which college, but it's a big one.
Okay.
What was the first one you were talking about, sorry?
Saving Megan. It's by DJ Palmer.
Okay.
But yeah, The Hunting Party, they're at this exclusive resort. It's somewhere in Scotland. And it's far away from everything. And then basically someone dies. and you're trying to figure out who the killer is. And I'm usually really good at those twisty turns, and I did not see this one coming.
Do you ever like write it down like at the start when you're naming out characters? Like, oh, it's this one.
No, I just try to remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I haven't read much horror this year. Like, I read like a Greek mythology book called Circe, I think is how it's pronounced. Wonderful. I also finally read The Woman in the Window, which was supposed to be a film that came out this year that never happened.
Well, I think it is shot. It just hasn't been released.
It hasn't
yet.
been released, and it's got Amy Adams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also read The Outsider by Stephen King.
Okay.
I think that was actually
You read that?
Yeah.
Oh. What'd you think of it?
I loved it.
Okay, because we stopped watching the show because you whined so hard that you're like, I'm reading the book.
Yeah, because I wanted to stop. I didn't want to... Oh, my God. I didn't want to watch past where I was reading.
Right.
No, I loved The Outsider. There was also a throwback to a character from the Mr. Mercedes trilogy that I really was into. But yeah, no, I haven't finished the TV show, but the book was incredible.
Awesome. All right, well, we're pretty
so you
much...
got to finish the show then.
I want to start it over, to be honest. Oh, it's got... What's his name? Jason...
Bourne?
Hamill?
Yeah.
No, he's in Game Night.
Jason Bateman.
There we go.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne.
He's like the main dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, well... Thanks for sharing those, Courtney. Let's close out this episode with, we'll just do these all as an amalgamation because we've been talking a lot and we're going to close this up right away. But something that Courtney and I got into this year over October was...
S&M.
Yes. No, this is... We've become very big fans of Vincent Price.
Wow.
And Hammer horror films in general. And that is all thanks to Daniel Epler and Cobweb's podcast. I'm not just blowing his dick.
Enthusiasm is infectious.
It's not even that. It's his enthusiasm, but he's also generally very knowledgeable about all these things. And it's honestly one of my favorite podcasts now. And it's because he brings on really interesting guests. His friend group, I've been trying to like slither my way in there because I'm like, I love everyone.
Slippery snake.
I love everyone that he has on the show. He has really interesting people on the show, and they all have other podcasts. Like shout out Matt Bledsoe, who runs the Film Feast podcast. Chris Hurtado, who is basically the American version of you, Buzi. I was on it.
Sorry to hear that.
I was on his podcast. I was on his podcast Inside the Sequel, talking about Child's Play 2.
Oh, yeah.
Chris is an amazing guy as well. He's one of Daniel's really good friends. But I love their whole friend group, and I think if you're a fan of Hammer horror movies or Vincent Price or any kind of gothic cinema, you need to be listening to Cobwebs because I think it's a great podcast. But with that being said, we dived into the Vincent Price collection on the Scream Factory Vincent Price collection.
I felt like, before we get into specifics, I had like a spiritual awakening with these movies.
Two in particular.
Yeah.
I know both of us loved the same two very, very much.
Very much. And I just, like, I've always liked Vincent Price. I've always been interested in him. But I think I'd only ever seen really, like, 2 or 3 of his
And, like,
films.
you'd seen, like, Edward Scissorhands, like, where he's always, like, in... He kept
there.
He kept being in a lot of these films in his later life. But going back to, like, the golden age of Vincent Price and, like, what he was putting out in the 50s and the 60s, it's some of the best stuff that you can find in the genre. The guy has charisma to spare, and it's amazing. What's up?
Oh, no, I'm just, like, reminiscing about how incredible these movies were for me.
Yeah, so we watched The Mask of the Red Death,
Yes.
The Abominable Dr. Phibes,
Yes.
and I watched by myself An Evening of Edgar Allan Poe,
Yeah.
The Pit and the Pendulum, and then
classic.
I also watched a couple other Hammer movies, which I'll talk about right after this in the very end. But let's talk about The Mask of the Red Death, which is debatably, honestly, I can't remember the last time besides this where I saw a movie and I was like, might be one of my favorite movies. Like it's so good, man. It is so good, and I can't believe I've gone my whole life without it because I know that this is a very well-known film. I'm sure I lost a ton of horror cred from people listening who are like, "You haven't watched Mask of the Red Death, and you're hosting a horror movie podcast." I am so grateful that I have blind spots because like I have seen.
That's the best part.
You know me and how far my knowledge goes with the amount of stuff I've seen. I do have a blank spot, and it happens to be this. And I'm so grateful that I love it.
But, like, when would you ever be exposed to that, really?
Yeah,
like, for yourself?
For me, I remember, I think the first... Like, I had seen, like, Vincent Price movies like The House on Haunted Hill
Yeah,
And,
there's always like those, but you know what I mean? Like, at what point in you being a younger kid even being like, I'm going to go and find the back catalog?
you have to be introduced through your parents.
Exactly.
Which I know which happened with Daniel and his dad. But I didn't, my dad wasn't into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that I can go back to it all these years later and have a whole new avenue of film to explore.
Yeah.
But out of all of them that we've watched, The Mask of the Red Death is by far my favorite. And it's just, the movie's loaded to the brim with Satan. Like, this is one of the
Lots
most...
of Satan.
Shout out Satan.
I can't believe they got away with this shit back in the day. Like, it is a dark-ass movie, but it is endlessly entertaining. And like I said, Vincent Price is just so goddamn good. I had talked on the episode with Jeff and John of the film festival. I mentioned that we also watch Witchfinder General, which is another Vincent Price movie, which I loved that movie as well. But he is so good at just being an awful human being.
Oh, he's such a dick.
And but that's the thing is, he's a guy who, like, it doesn't matter how horrible he is. I love watching him be horrible, but I equally love watching him be like kind of the protagonist and be a character that you generally like. But he's just, I think he thrives as a villain. And he is at his darkest, in my opinion, in Witchfinder General. That's where he's the most despicable. Close second is Mask of the Red Death. I can lend you, I have the collection, because I think you would be really into them as well.
May I?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say my favorite one. It was the abominable Dr. Phibes.
Yeah. There's a trilogy, Courtney. We've only watched the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
my lord.
Like, there's still Stepfather 2 and 3 to watch.
Okay, so I just want to read what it says on IMDb, just so you guys can have an idea. So it says, a doctor, scientist, organist, and biblical scholar, Anton Phibes, seeks revenge on the 9 doctors he considers responsible for his wife's death. And just
9 doctors killed his wife.
Boozy, you will love this one.
I love killing doctors.
The elaborate, no, but this might be like, so I kind of feel dumb.
So dark and it's so creepy and like beautiful.
It's one of the original slasher films. It's got to be, because it honestly, like, this has to be a precursor for Saw.
Really?
So this is 1971, I think.
Yeah, and
but I think it's one of my favorite movies I've ever watched.
Yeah.
It really had an awesome effect on me.
I know a lot of people don't agree with us on that, because but the thing is, there are huge fans of Phibes, and then there are the people who are just kind of like, I prefer Vincent's other stuff. Man, holy shit, Phibes is so sick.
This was definitely a life-changing film for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved everything. Courtney
Courtney and I kept looking at each other, like, we didn't talk through the movie, but we would look over and be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because there are some elaborate deaths, and it's amazing. And Vincent Price is just so much fun to watch. God, if I could fuck any man on earth, it would be Vincent Price.
And also, he was definitely gay.
Yeah, obviously. He didn't officially come out, I don't believe.
No,
but
he never did.
He's clearly an eccentric. Well, you know
You
what?
can't be that talented and fabulous and...
Be straight.
No,
True.
you can't.
True. But yeah, so we both loved The Mask of the Red Death and The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Wow.
Let's go on to The Pit and the Pendulum, which we also watched.
Gosh, it's been a long time.
It's been a month. We watched that one after Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Well, apparently
but I
wasn't
think
as good for Courtney.
That's the thing, though, is that I know this is one of it's known to be a favorite among a lot of people who love Vincent Price, but I thought Pit and the Pendulum was great as well. It's just, it's not going to rank up there with Mask of the Red Death or Abominable Dr. Phibes for me. But Pit and the Pendulum is still a very interesting movie that if you can still get your hands on the Scream Factory, they reissued the Volume 1 of the Vincent Price collection. You can pick that up right now. Highly recommend it, because every single movie that we watched on there was worth it and
I
good.
think Pit and the Pendulum was one of the first ones we watched, right?
No, it was the last.
Was it?
Yeah. But I also picked up the 3rd installment in the Vincent Price collection of Scream Factory, which features An Evening of Edgar Allan Poe, which is just an hour. I think it's an hour and 50 minutes, hour and 20 of Vincent Price just doing a one-man show of Edgar Allan Poe stories. Because a lot of these movies were
So
Edgar
this is
Allan
like
Poe
the original
stories.
audiobook.
Yeah, but it's watching him in a room just kind of go nuts, and he's just reciting the stories. But it's with a guy like Vincent Price, who just is non-stop charisma.
You don't need anybody
He can
else.
carry it.
Yeah.
With that being said, out of all of these, I would rank this one at the very bottom, but it's just because of what it is. It's still an interesting look at, you know, if you're a big fan of Vincent Price, I think you'll get something out of it. Like I definitely did, but it's not as strong as the other films because it's not a fully fleshed out feature.
This was just such a nice change for us this year.
It was amazing.
And
It was the highlight. This kept our Halloween spirit alive.
It was definitely a highlight.
And once again, that is seriously all thanks to Daniel. Like my reconnecting with him, like, you know, he's been a long time Terror Table listener, but we've really kind of become buddies recently, more so than ever. And I fully have him to thank for. I hope that people listening to our show get half of what I got out of his. And I'm not just saying that because he's a buddy or because he's been on the show. I think he's generally a fantastic podcaster. But yeah, so that was Abominable, or that was An Evening of Edgar Allan Poe. The last couple, I watched these ones by myself when Courtney was at work and things were slow for me, so I'd watched a couple, but these were just Hammer films. I watched The Curse of the Werewolf, which is known to be one of the Hammer films that you should not start with.
Right.
Because this thing is convoluted as fucking hell. With that being said, it's still really cool. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to need a couple more rewatches in order to fully grasp it, I think. But I'm a big Oliver Reed fan. And,
oh my gosh. Yes, I came home when you were
when
finishing.
I was watching it,
So I finished it with you. Oliver Reed is
love
just
him.
like no one else.
Yeah, I really love him. And so that Curse of the Werewolf, like, I'm not going to speak too much because we've been talking for an hour and a half about a billion movies. But the last one I'll talk about is Evil of Frankenstein, which is a Peter Cushing reenactment.
I love Peter Cushing.
Yeah, and he's definitely the best part of Evil of Frankenstein. It's a really cool take on the Frankenstein tale. It's a little bit different than what
Frankenstein? Frankenstein.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Evil of Frankenstein, and I know that there's still so many more places for me to go in exploring Hammer's Frankenstein catalog. And that's the one I know when we did our Universal Monster series recently, like, the one that came out on top for me was Frankenstein. Like, I just adored that film so much. I've seen it before, but this year it really just connected with me on an emotional level. Definitely my favorite of the classic Universal monster movies, with like Invisible Man right behind there, because Invisible Man was also great. Did you watch Invisible Man with me?
Yeah, you did, but I missed like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's such a great movie.
I know. I don't know. I feel like I like Creature the most.
Yeah, well, and the Creature's up there as well.
Definitely the most fuckable.
Yeah, because he's got that soft mouth.
Oh,
what that mouth do?
We were talking about this the other. Oh, you weren't there for that.
No, she doesn't listen to our podcast.
Right, Courtney, like just a very fuckable creature.
He is.
That's all I'm saying.
That's everything.
Courtney, you
folks.
said worse things on this episode. Don't look at me like this.
Yeah, so far you are the most offensive out of all of us.
Oh my god, I said one thing.
And I can't even remember what it was, so it must have been a good episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to say I'm excited to watch more of those types of films.
Yeah, for sure. And we still have
so many.
We have volume 3. Oh, I should say that actually. If anyone's listening and for some reason you own a copy of the Vincent Price Collection Volume 2 and you want to sell it to a homie that would really appreciate it
Hook us up.
and not charge me $300 like everyone else, because once they go out of print, they're out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm kicking myself in the ass so hard for not buying it earlier. So that's why I picked up the third one. I think there's still some copies left of that. So if you're a fan of these things, I implore you to try and get them now, because they are going to go out of print. And we were lucky that Scream Factory reissued the volume 1.
Right.
Maybe they'll do 2.
I really hope so, because there's some good ones on there that I really want.
Well, this year we haven't been able to go to any of like the orchestra book sales or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And usually the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra has a sale that has like books, records, textbooks, everything you can think of. And I feel like that would be something that you could possibly find there. And we haven't been able to go to any of those this year. So
no, I know. Yeah.
we don't have that opening.
Yeah, for sure though. Yeah. Closing thoughts. This whole like gothic cinema stuff that I like, because I've always been a fan of gothic cinema, but my range hasn't been all there. Like,
I didn't know that I liked it.
Yeah. Well, I showed you The Haunting.
I'd seen The Haunting.
The original? Mm-hmm. You had not seen the original.
I have it on DVD.
No, you have the Catherine Zeta-Scarn one.
No,
Catherine Zeta-Scarn.
Oh my god.
Courtney.
When we moved in together, I got rid of it, but I had the orig and the remake.
You're going to regret that when we break up.
I'm going to take half your shit.
Fuck you. Oh my god. Fuck you.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
love you.
Boozy, you're fine.
Oh my
too.
goodness. I'm glad that we have that all recorded.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening. This was a blast.
Thanks
It was,
for having me.
yeah, it was nice to have you back, Courtney. I know for some reason our listeners, at least the ones who message us, tell us
You're
that
kind of
they
fun
like you.
around here. You're all
If
right.
you think that I'm funny or enjoyable, please let them know.
No, don't do it. Don't. Just go to her on Twitter. What's your Twitter, Courtney? Oh, yeah, we already tried this.
We
You
did
don't.
that, yeah.
What about Instagram? What's your Instagram? You post your delicious meals.
I think it's honestly at Courtney Sperling.
Boom.
What's
there you
your
go.
Tumblr?
I don't have a Tumblr. I got rid of it.
What's your
And
MySpace?
the OnlyFans?
Yeah, and the OnlyFans.
No, on Insta, I'm just...
She only does Shiza stuff, though.
I don't
Shiza.
know what you guys
Oh
are
my
talking about, but it
goodness.
sounds Jewish, kind of.
Oh my god. Another fucking...
What's Shiza?
Another ignorant thing for
Is
Courtney to say.
Shizas? Like, should
It's
I know?
it's poop. It's poop porn. It's people who like watching people poop
Oh,
on
I'm
other
so
things.
sorry to the Jews.
Thank God for this pop filter. Pop. We also watched Schindler's List on Novembrance Day.
November and stuff.
Remembrance Day.
Yeah, we did. And honestly,
Perfect film.
I cried like a baby.
That is a... You've seen Schindler's List?
Yeah.
Flawless film. Flawless movie. It is perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Boozy's uncomfortable and crawling out of his skin.
I'm sorry, I love everyone
Except Jennifer Jason Leigh.
except for Jennifer Jason Leigh and Taylor Swift.
What's wrong with Taylor Swift? We have to do this again?
Yeah.
No, I won't. I promise.
Courtney took some heat for that
Yeah.
when we did this with just her and I when quarantine hit.
Yeah.
And I got some
I
responses
went
being like,
off on T Swizzle.
she was also a little deep in the drink, and by the end,
And you don't like Carly Rae Jepsen either.
I like Call Me Maybe, and that's it.
Carly Rae's not even her best song.
yeah, that's a terrible
I'm sorry,
song.
but if you're like...
That's not even a
if
heater
you're in
anymore.
your
It's a terrible song.
If you're in your mid-30s and you're singing songs about, like, lollipops and calling boys...
Oh my God! Don't listen to Blink-182.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Holy smokes!
They're still doing it.
I love how
True.
I think there's got to be like I have referenced Blink-182 on 60% of our episodes.
That sounds about right. At least. 60 is like lowball.
I need
Hey,
to
shout out! Guess who was my number 2 most listened to band of the year?
Who?
Driveways
Oh,
on Spotify.
hey, they posted on their Instagram, they're like, listens.
Yeah. Oh, they're.
huge.
I know they could be a much bigger band than they are.
Also, Driveways, I did follow you on Insta. Love everything that you do.
Yeah, love that
Everything.
album.
Like they're all collectively listening
Yeah,
together.
no,
They
Driveways,
are.
we sit
I-
and listen
I-
together.
They're sitting in a green room right now
Yeah,
listening.
After talking to them, love their music, love those guys. Guarantee you they're not listening.
I love Boston. I love Saugus.
Yeah, they're from Saugus, where Courtney was
Saugus.
from.
I stayed
First you
there
went
for a
there.
time or so.
They have a Fuddruckers.
They got a Fuddruckers right next to the place that I was staying. I went to the bar.
I'm sorry, Lana.
I went to the bar.
Uh-huh.
And no, we made friends. We went to this rave bar that just happened to be fucking country night. So
It's country night at the rave bar.
like my nemesis basically. And so we show up and it's like a bunch of weird people and I got them to put on Big Booty Bitches. I think it was.
hoes.
No, big booty bitches, big booty bitches. Hey. Anyways, and we were talking to this one person, and they were like, "At least you can pronounce the alphabet." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they were like, "Ah, ah."
Man, I've never seen so many like the sound waves on a recording program just blacked out. It's all Courtney.
Anyways, love Massachusetts. Can't spell it, but I love it.
Oh my God. All right, Kate, you guys have been trying to close up for the last 5 minutes. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next week on the Terror Table, where I promise you we're going to have something interesting to talk about. There's going to be a lot of really cool things coming up here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and like and review. I would love some reviews because we're one of those podcasts that's hovering around a 4.5 because we got one bad review.
I love that we get bad reviews.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also just
Who was it? What did they say?
they just like gave us a
We're not going to go find them.
Fuck them.
Could give a fuck. But no, either way, it's just nice to know that people are listening. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you next time on The Terror Table.
Over and out.